Hello, everybody. I get to be monkey in the middle. We hope you're all doing really well on this Wednesday night. We have a continuation for you tonight. But first, let's check in with the ladies. Melzie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited about tonight's show. I like digging into this kind of stuff, and every time that I look at it, it's like I discover a new piece of the puzzle. So I think that it's exciting, like, oh my goodness, this was here, is this? And so I think it's great for us to look at it and share it and learn more and discover together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So grateful you're all here with us. Norma Jean, how you doing?
Oh, you know me. I'm going and flying and flying and flying and learning more and more and more. Just coming into, so much information that I hope to be able to, find ways to convey in a way that keeps it at a level of basicness and understanding for everyone here and anyone else that may watch this later. How are you, T?
I'm good. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I've had staff in my other business not doing well. One had eye surgery and it didn't heal, and it was last minute booked anyway. So she had extended time off, and she generally handles the field. And then one of my other guys had some really good trapped energy in his back. And not unlike you, Norma, it's from his upper back being so tight that it's causing issues in his lower back. And the same person's able to help everyone. So she's quite amazing. So remember, and the chiropractor couldn't help him, the acupuncturist couldn't help him, but this friend of mine here, May, was able to help him. So we all end up with some trapped energy in our body at some point, and it affects your resonance.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yeah. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. I'm bridging a lot, but doing really well. Yeah, getting excited for this show because Melzie sent me a whole crap load of stuff to share.
Oh yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lifetime of study with this. I mean, to understand what they were doing there, and to be living this time to really like have an unraveling and unveiling and a revelation of it is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in continuation from Beetlejuice and talking about the current energies, which are lots is going on. So lots of people are shifting right now, which is causing an increase in the energies because everything is a reflection of us, right? As above, so below.
As above, so below. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a good sign. Now, you're never given more than you can handle either. So it's a matter of making sure you're grounded, making sure you're putting yourself first, making sure you're eating well, making sure you're getting sleep if you can sleep. If you can't sleep, nap a date, drive a date.
Right? Use your headphones and the solfeggio frequencies. That helps so much too if you don't have a lot of time. I do that for my little naps. I lay down and I put that on, and it just gets me into a meditative state of release. And a lot of times I'll fall out and I'll come back and I'll feel so much more relaxed or released from that. So that's a great way to do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another question that's been coming up, and this really plays quite well on the heels of FCB's video last night too, because it's more understanding. So in order to move forward and to expand, we need to know what was going on behind us so that we can. And you really got to go like all the way back further. You got to go back to the beginning. And so Norma Jean's been tapping into a lot of that. So she'll have a good bridge in here as well. So why don't we just jump right into it? Because
let's do it.
We are on a limited time. So excited.
Yeah.
So
with Beetlejuice, so we were talking about Beetlejuice being in the constellation of Orion, and as above, so below. Like what we are finding is that there's a map that is not just on, that's not just on the Hoover Dam, but it's also on that area of Arizona, and it looks like a little bit into maybe Utah and I don't know, Colorado. And that makes me wonder, like, are the constellations all over the Earth? Is it just not just these, but could it be that we're just discovering a piece of something that's really, really big? And So Beetlejuice, like we said last week, that there's a town named Beetlejuice that's in Arizona, which is amazing, right? So I think that this will be a lot of fun. And one of my questions was, is the constellation, when we look at that constellation of Orion and Taurus together, the Taurus bull, Pleiades system is in that. And so is the Pleiades system somewhere on this land map as well. So in fractal mathematics, right, like what Nassim Haramein is talking about, if whatever it's always going inward as well as always going outward. Expansive is like a breath, right? In and out, in and out. So goes the universe as well.
Absolutely. And get this. So I knew from my original trip to Egypt, and the bug that I brought back, it has within it that area with the Hopi Indians, right on that. There's something about where those states all it's not a coincidence, right, that they're all connected. That's one of the spots my energy is supposed to visit when I'm called to. The other one is Yucatan, Mexico, which we hit next month. The other one is Australia, and then Japan as well. So and Egypt is on there, but I do believe it's like this one, my energy goes and shifts something, and then we're able to expand that area more. So it's quite fascinating that we're coming up with this cornerstone, because this just came up last week. We had a big discussion about it's something about that spot. It's not just the Grand Canyon, it's that spot. There's something in that spot. So
yeah, ley lines are really interesting, aren't they? Because it's like they're an energy point, and maybe just like chakra systems, they can become stuck. So like we are human tuning forks. We're electromagnetic beings, and so it's like I believe that you are called to that area. I believe that I was called to this area too, and it's kind of like, oh, remembering, like I knew that, but then I'm like, oh yeah, remember you wanted to come here to study the ley lines, and oh wow, I manifested it without the realization of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for everyone being in the chat. Make sure, go ahead and throw your questions in, and we'll do our best to review them after we've presented. And absolutely, I will be in Australia at some point. Yeah. Were we ever the new world? At one point, but it hasn't been for a long time. All right, let's jump into
because it's secular,
right?
Time is. So we're, I think, like in the 7th cycle of that phase. So it's not like it's ending or beginning and this is the end, and it's going to always be transitioning.
Absolutely. Do you want to start with this video, Melzie, or do you want me to start at the top?
No, let's start with that video. I think it does a good explanation of Hoover Dam and kind of the symbolism in it.
I know what y'all are thinking about damn time. No, you probably weren't thinking that, were you? You're probably thinking, JT, that was a weak pun. And maybe you're right. But you might have been thinking, the Hoover Dam. So what, JT? It's a hydroelectric dam. So what? It blocks the Colorado River and creates Lake Mead. So what? And I'm going to show you so what. It's more than what it seems. Let's take a look. This is what? Yeah. Did you guys know that there was creepy angels on top of the Hoover Dam? Sitting on weird black cubes? Yeah, that's strange, right? What are they doing on top of the Hoover Dam? Maybe we should take a closer look at one of them. Yeah. That's weird, right? That's kind of ominous looking. Sinister even. What is that doing on top of the dam? Maybe we should look at some more pictures for some context, shall we? Yeah, okay, so there's a compass with astrology, some zodiac signs on it. Maybe the angels are related to the the sign of Taurus, maybe? I don't know, let's keep looking. Maybe it's this pyramid pointing out this strange word, Thuban. Actually, Thuban comes from an Arabic word that means large serpent or dragon. Huh, you guys making any connections? Large serpents, dragons, angels. Huh. I don't know. Maybe. Let's look at another picture. Hey, check it out. That's pretty cool. An eagle right in front of those angels. And the wings are kind of doing something a little odd. They're kind of going up and there's this light going backwards. You know what that kind of looks like? It kind of looks like a Freemasonry compass and square. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Suddenly, this is making a lot of sense. Let's take a look at one more picture. So what we have here is a memorial plaque to commemorate the over 100 men who lost their lives building this dam. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I find this inscription a little bit creepy. They died to make the desert bloom. What's that supposed to mean? Is the implication that they couldn't build the dam without the death? That the desert couldn't bloom without the sacrifices? Are they talking about a hydroelectric dam? Are they talking about Baal in ancient Mesopotamia? I don't know. Maybe the angels and the weird astrology does actually make sense after all.
Yeah, fascinating, right? All right, should we go to the top now? What would you like next, Melzie?
Yeah, so let's just introduce my channel a second. So I've done a lot of research on, somebody says that damn video wasn't playing. So I'm sorry about that. But anyways, that guy did a really good explanation, and I'll put some of these on my channel, and they're all in the Hoover Dam, Lake Havasu, Cabal connection. And you're, go in there and scout around. There's a lot of great information. So
can you hold on? Can you guys see what I'm sharing on the screen right now? Can you let me know, please? Because otherwise we're going to have to do this a different way.
It says it was playing clear here in YouTube, but it looks like it was not playing in maybe
Rumble
on Facebook. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, I'm sorry about that, but will go through some of the pictures that he talked about, and we can explain some of the things that they had, because we have them in still pictures as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Melzie, this is part of your channel. You created this channel? I
created this channel. This is all my research, and like it's other people's research too. If I find something interesting, I put it in here.
Right.
So there's also a chat within this channel too. You're welcome to join that, and you find information, please share it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly copy and paste this so everyone can see.
Okay.
All right. Let's just get it in the chats. All right, you guys. And that video, can you make sure that video is in there?
Yes, that video is in there, but I'll put it at the bottom so people can see it.
I might not be able to paste this. We'll see. Will you guys
for
me on Rumble, please? That's relevant. Okay. So
they're having problems with doing links right now, T.
I know, but I got it.
Oh. Well, I don't know what to tell you then.
Give me the links, guys. Let's see if I can post them. All right. All right. So let's go for this guy next.
USA 1909. Archaeologist Dr. G.E. Kincaid.
All right. I see what's going on. Hold on. No. Is that playing big screen for you guys when I was doing that?
No.
Yeah, we got
it. So let's just talk about this. This video right here that he's going to talk about is this man went into the Grand Canyon, and he talked to some of the natives there, and they told him about there being like ancient ruins and key into the universe, and they wouldn't tell him where it was. That they told him that they were guardians. So he went and looked around, and he found what looked like a pyramid, and then he went into kind of these holes that were there, and he found a huge amount of things that looked like they were maybe ancient Buddhist, maybe ancient Anunnaki, like of the Egyptians. And so he went back to the Smithsonian and got another group to come back, and then it was never talked about again.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, interesting about that, that why did they, part of the Hoover Dam, part of this is, why did they build a Hoover Dam in the middle of the desert when nobody needed electricity? Nobody even knew what electricity was. We weren't using it people were using candles or kerosene, or they were not, they weren't at that point yet at this point. So I've always wondered why, they were putting up a dam, if it was to hide something, or was it to hide something and, maybe also use it for technology of some sort.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And Bob saying, yeah, don't forget Hoover Dam is just south of the Nellies AFB in Area 51.
Right? Just saying. Oh, and I learned today too that borax, which is mined, I think, over there in the Mojave Desert, is used for like nuclear cooling. Huh.
Maybe you need more borax, Norma. So I don't think I'm not going to try and play more videos. So if you guys want to see more, because we're going to be tight on time anyway, get over to that Telegram channel. I'll also put it in my group and we'll let you guys see it. So.
Okay, just stop right there though and go up to this video. We won't play it, but I just want to explain something because someone put in there, how was the Grand Canyon created? Now there's a couple different thoughts about it, but what this guy says is that what it looks like in some areas, like it might be for mining. And so maybe that's true. Maybe the Anunnaki came here, created like a metropolis, put their technology there, right? And aligned it with Orion and Pleiades and everything. And maybe this is where this is really truly where ancient Egypt or the beginning was, right? So that's my question. That's a great, it does look like different than, nowhere else do we see that a river supposedly dug this out. I live near the Mississippi and rivers all over. I never saw nothing look like that.
Yeah.
And so, right? Yeah. And so maybe that does tie into them coming here for gold, since we know there's a lot of gold in this area. I don't know. Just thoughts.
100%. Well, and so my understanding, and Norma, maybe you can add to this, is that at ancient times, one of the sons was sent out. Who was that again? I can't even remember, but was sent away because he was in trouble for something and set up the Mayan and then set up this in the US. So whether it was happened, I would say more at the same time as many other ones. So yeah, I think there's way more pyramids than we've ever been led to believe around the world. Yeah, like millions. Yeah. So yeah, it's important to keep a really open mind when viewing all these. Now let me see if I click on this one. Does this one go big screen?
This is just a still image, and so
yeah, we've already seen that. So you can see the Freemason symbol. Did it go big though?
No.
No.
So it's going big only on my screen. Lovely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So let's go to the other one that maybe you have that's
yeah, I have to just a sec. I have to actually stop sharing and then reset it up. Because I had it just set up for
I'm so sorry.
No worries. And then let's continue to talk about portals, because as we were on our trip, as I organized this, as we were on our trip, I called each island a pocket realm. And so you come through the portal, whether it be by the ship, and you come into the portal, and you enter the realm, right? And every island had its own feeling. Every island had its own experience per se. So it was quite phenomenal. And you can even equate a portal in this. So a portal is an energy, a movement of energy from one place to another. That is the simplest way, I think, to describe it. Norma?
It's one of those that, because so much is still coming out, so much is still being revealed. And if you look at, a lot of the facts that there's still a lot that still needs to be released. We can only work from where we're at and what we know and what we, and others have done deep dives in. Now, given what we've experienced and what I experienced while I was, with you and all the others in Egypt and in Greece was totally a different different place. And given that, what I experienced is that what I was given was that, from my perspective, in the way I see things, is I wasn't just seeing this in my mind's eye. What was happening is it was shown in my mind's eye to be able to see through the eyes of that I utilize each day. So sitting there, I was able to see all basically the elements, the levels to each layer that exists that makes up this construct. And given that, and given what I experienced, the construct is like, it depends on the energy, the vibration, and the waves that exist in those areas as to what I believe you personally, given where you're at within yourself, will be able to see. So these pocket realms that you were speaking to, T, is like, to me, almost dead spot on to ultimately explaining and being able to come up with the words to be able to say, yeah, pretty much, because flat earth, round earth, it doesn't matter. What the importance is that when you see that this construct shows you how it's created, at the point that you're able to see these elements, then what happens is that you throw other concepts out the door and you open yourself up for more of the ability for the inner self to show you what's outside of you, because it's a mirror reflection of who and what we are made of within.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Melzie, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, so you know, Nassim Haramein does a good model of it. And if you see an 8, right? 8 is infinity, right?
Yeah.
So if you have infinity in those points, you have where that connection comes. And those points are nodes of highly creative source energies, right? Sometimes that can be a node of a chakra on the earth, or it can be a chakra within us. And so when we come to that point, those can be places that can have energy opened, right? And energy, it's constantly in that flux of the 8. I can't make one like that. Well, she can't draw. Oh well.
You're good. So most of the Telegram things are not working because they're different chats, right? So I can't pull them over, but I was able to pull some more things over. So let's keep going with this. And yes, Star Forts, your front door is a portal. Think about it. You leave the outside world and you come into your haven. So that's the very simplest example of a portal, right? You've created this energy within your home and you go into the outside world. You left your portal, so to speak, right? Yeah. Your mind is the portal. Is that what you want to say, Norma? Can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry. Yes, basically, yes, because when you utilize in the mind, whether it's a portal to begin with, because you're communicating between two realms, okay, so to speak. So you've got the spirit communicating with the body and the body communicating with the spirit, if you actually find that ultimate great dance that they both can have. So the portals begin where the question is asked, depending and determining on where that question must be answered, creates that door within the mind. It's called a synapsis. Okay, it's the joining of the two to come together to to form that center spot of conversation. So that the way us as humans here, and we're looking outside ourselves and we're seeing things, or we're looking at things, then what's happening is the spirit is going, hey, pay attention. There's something to that. and it gets your attention. So that's where the portals begin, which when you understand that, you'll be able to understand the portals outside of us. They are just reflections of within us. Everything's a reflection of the cosmos that we are, the world that we are, all of that. And when you get to the understanding of how the body's created, you'll begin to understand what's outside you, because everything that's created has been created from within you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more you explore the inner world and you think about it, if we all have stardust in us, right, and those minerals in us that are from the stars, we came to the understanding that we have our own star. Every single being has their very own star, as above, so below. So right. So it's this gets deep. But let's keep it a little simpler for today as we start to explore this. So, and people can travel through portals through Starforts. A Starfort is a portal, right? These stargates are portals, right? Stars, all
our
these
mind is a portal, like Norma was saying. We can take ourselves to past memories, to future ideas.
Yes.
To cross the world when people share about things. So our mind can take us to different places too.
Yeah. Can you guys see this one, please?
Yes,
I can see it. Yep.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about this one, because we have the 7 Pleiades, and look at that toroidal.
Yeah. So this is the Pleiadian system, and you see that it kind of moves probably in that system like a toroidal field. And Alcyone is in the center. So when we just talked about physics, though, it wouldn't just be one center of a donut. There would actually be 2 donuts to that. So another side of it. So that's where wormholes happen, is kind of in between, in that 0 point energy place, that part. So Alcyone is on the Hoover Dam, and this is like a 3D model of it, but we'll see a 2D model of it as well on the star map that's there. So my first question was, what is Alcyone? Why? And I've why'd that for a long time. But when we look at the star system of Orion that is on the, in Arizona, it looks like this is kind of over in the area that would be kind of by Las Vegas and maybe where the Hoover Dam is. So that would make sense if the Hoover Dam is like giving birth to the new age through Alcyone, right? It's a temple of Alcyone. That's kind of part of the conclusion that I've come to with pieces of it. I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm always open to hearing more from people, because I think that everybody's research just helps us understand this so much better.
Well, and working together, right? Because we trigger each other to remember things, to understand things, to break something down with a little bit different perspective reflects upon us that which we thought with a new angle on it. Yeah. All right. And so here's the Hoover Dam as well.
This is actually the star map, and the 2 angelic, the 2 angel beings that we see later on are kind of on either side of this. In the center is a flagpole, right? And the flagpole, I believe, is coming up and kind of that 0 point energy again. So when you have creation, you have these 2 angelic beings that are sitting on the Stargate, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting on creation, and then there's a black box in the middle of it, which is like the wormhole. So in the fallen angel, or they took creation and they manipulated it, and with Ashiana Dean's work here. So Ashiana Dean says that they manipulated it, and instead of it being a breathable atom, they use the Vespus Pisces, and that is a split, and that's kind of what we're seeing here, I believe. But another point that we're going to talk about real quick is that they have the North Stars, the North Stars of different time frames. Thuban was one, Polaris is one, and I can't remember the other. Maybe it's Alcyone, I'm not sure. But Polaris right now is our North Pole sun, and it looks like a swirling, like liquid mercury or the swastika in the sky. And so I know that liquid mercury opens up portals, and it made me think that, you know, it's has levitation and it defies gravity. And I thought, well, maybe it is a portal. If you have a Stargate, you know, once you, is it because you have a map there? You're going, okay, we go from here to here, right? You know, why else would you put a map there unless there's a point to it? So that's kind of my interpretation of that star map. There's a lot to it, not just the moon is in there too at a specific place, and Thuban we find is in the star system of Dracone, you know, that reptile that guy was talking about again. Yeah. So these are interesting findings.
Absolutely fascinating findings. And here we go again.
Yeah, so there's Alcyone on the map, and there it is in the sky, right? And then we see Madonna is right there. She's this was in,
I can't get it.
I think, yeah, 2012. She was doing like for the Super Bowl, she was doing a performance, and she's looking like she's a cosmic return, and the Hoover Dam is in back of her, and she's, you know, doing a reenactment of giving birth. So, you know, a water birth, right? Through maybe the bursting of the Hoover Dam, which we see on our money, which we see in movies. So this is just something that the Cabal intended or knows about with the cosmic return.
Yep. And utilizing that frequency and energy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it. All right. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty bloody obvious once you realize what's going on, right?
It is. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then now what we know too, it's, you know, I saw another picture where they had a goat on the Hoover Dam, like a big goat that they had projected onto it. And, you know, the goat has different representation for them. The animals do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a map I kind of created, and I'm sorry if it's not really easy to see, but underneath it we see Orion, and then kind of down where he's upside down. So this is where Arizona is, and up above is where I can't remember what it's called. I looked it up like 3 times today, but it's in a bend in the Grand Canyon, kind of where his arrow was pointed. Primus Point or something. Yep. And so Betelgeuse is down below, kind of where the face is and in the shoulder there. And if we go over to Taurus and we see the Hoover Dam is, I think, around kind of that bend up in there. And the Pleiades star system is kind of right over in that bend over there. Yeah. So I was kind of shocked at that because this was a new revelation for me today. You know, I didn't realize that it might be correlated to, like, maybe the whole star map is on the ground as well as above. 100%. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Once you start digging, you cannot stop because well, we need to go to the origin. So you got to keep going until you know, it's like, okay, now I understand it all. Now I understand why I'm here and what I came to do. I get it. Yeah. And then this one here is an ancient array of pyramids. The site aligns with the same stars that the pyramids of Giza align with, the constellation of Orion and Pleiades. And they're built on star points. So yeah, absolutely. All right, let's pull this out because that gets all crazy to look at. Norma, you writing something down?
No, I'm actually trying to figure out how to see the picture a little bigger. I was actually going to Telegram because I want to see where Betelgeuse is sitting there.
Right.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Because in my research and what I found out, you know, doing a little bit of the research I've been doing, is that there's more than one sun. There's more than one sun, which means because there's many more than just our galaxies. So when you look at this, Betelgeuse, and then what is the other one? Regal.
Yeah.
They're opposite of one another in Orion's basically makeup of the body of him, okay? Because Betelgeuse is on his right shoulder, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Rigel is on the opposite hip or of the skirt, or whatever you want to call it back then for Romans. But and these are suns. What are suns? We've heard that suns are portals. Okay. So when we take Orion or any other place of constellations, because what was the name of the other one? Aldana. I can't remember the other sun because I was looking at that because all this is near the Taurus that you were showing earlier. I kind of wish I had my. Hang on. Let me. So that way I can better keep up with what I'm trying to explain here, so I can look at the pictures. All right. So you've got Aldebaran, okay, that is outside the Orion. What we'll say is their galactic system. Okay, we'll just put it simply as that. So when you've got Rigel and Betelgeuse that are on the opposite sides of themselves, which I sent those pictures to you, T. But if you can't bring it up, then I'll just use the tablet to show it right now.
You know what? I can probably bring it up. So give me 1 second because those were from the computer. So let me just see if it pops in. No, they're not popping in. So just show the way you've got it.
All right. So basically, whoop, can you see that pretty clearly?
Nope.
Well, crap. All right. Anyway, so when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm asking questions more of not as much the aspect of, outside of me. I'm okay. It's fine. These are in the sky, but for what purpose and what reason? So when I get to looking at the constellations and I'm looking at Orion and then I'm looking at Taurus, I'm looking at Gemini, I'm looking at the Canis Major and Lepus and Eridanus and Monoceros. Okay, so basically it's like when I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that there are 3 suns that when you look at these star constellations seem to be close together. Okay, and when you come to the understanding of going back to the origin of what the sun represents, the sun is a point. It's a point. It's like the heart that's within us. We're a point, or it's the more of the umbilical, where our navel is. We're the point. So, I mean, when you see that and you use the compass as a tool of measurement, you got to find a point before you can do anything else with it. So that makes it the beginning. That makes it the 0 point. And then with the compass, you stretch it out as far as you want because that becomes your measurement. And then you draw a circle. And what that becomes is the opposite. That's the opposite of anything. of just that one point, which at this point would be a moon. Okay, because that's basically the brother, the sister, the father, the mother, so to speak. It goes a little deeper than this, and I'm not going to get any deeper, but these are the questions that I go and I seek after to understand. These stars represent everything that's probably of the lands of this realm, if we know how to map them.
Absolutely.
Well, and then getting back to just my brain's going, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of, you know, them traveling west and looking for a new life in the desert. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, did they really travel that way to come here? So maybe it was them looking for something, you know, looking for the lost land, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's interesting, the history that we're learning about. And I wonder that too, Norma, about I've looked up at Orion so many times and wondered, you know, one looks red, Betelgeuse looks red, and the other one, Regal, looks blue. And I'm like, why is one red, one blue? And they look like they're so balanced in the sky, don't they? What's going on there? So I think it's an interesting, you know, questions of energetics, and now it's here on Earth. What does that mean to us? Does it go further and deeper than that? Are we just discovering just a little piece of it?
Well, we all know that we're here to remember the name of the game is, we all have the same mission. It's to remember who we are, where we came from, how powerful we are. But so many people do this research and then stop. And now that's their belief. And so they haven't explored further. So it's like, this is never done questioning. This is until it's over, until the game's over. And if you win, you win, right? But and you always win anyway, because there's no losers on this game. It's just, what was your perspective and what did you learn? What did you learn at Earth School? And so I truly believe that the important thing is when you find a tangent that makes you go, nee, follow it and follow it and follow it and follow it. And I think people, and I'm not saying us because we're not complacent at all, but important that everyone keep going. So when you start to get to know you and you start to correlate that, oh yeah, I create my own reality. Oh, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? And you start to realize that the duality is within you and it's just coming outside because you're expressing in a specific way to create it outside of you. And so that is another way of we're creating our reality. Would that not be like an energy portal as well, from it to come from inside and to go outside, right? So we can call almost anything a portal at this point. So yeah, don't get all hung up in what a portal is or what a portal might be. And don't ever stop questioning. You guys are the black sheep. You're the rebels. You're the ones that came here to be beacons of light for others. So keep questioning, keep going. But remember, the answers aren't outside of you. Those are only reflections for you to go deeper within. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Do you want to add something to that, Melzie, from your perspective, being where you are and what you're doing now and going inward? To me, it's like when you enter the water, you're entering a portal. You're becoming immersed.
Oh, yeah.
You're leaving.
Well,
right? Yeah.
I think our portal does go through water. Everything's made of it. So everything has that H2O, the HO, hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. So
yes,
water is like, we are like living, walking crystals of living water, really, an expression of it. So it's a great opportunity for us to live in this body. I know it feels challenging at times, but this 3D experience is such a magnificent expression for us to be here in this energetic body of water that we don't always see it sometimes like that. But when we start realizing like our true self, right, that we can then start programming ourselves, our own little portals inside of us to start receiving a different resonance, a different frequency.
Absolutely. And we've got Adam in the chat, and maybe we should tap into this. Is that Portals is playing small. We're really stargates. So I said, yeah. But we were asked to explain the portal. So do you want to jump in, Norma, to a description of a stargate for everyone versus a portal? Melzie?
Well, they can be both,
right?
You know, so yeah, right. So you know, a portal may be like an energy transfer, or like a wormhole. A stargate may be an amplifier in order to access those portals, right? So a portal might be in a specific area. It might have a vortex there, and the stargate might be there to access that energy or to amplify it. Yeah, and
absolutely. And a stargate is also there's wars over stargates, right?
Well, bringing us back to like the Hoover Dam, you know, there's a picture where it looks like she's sitting in water, and then that there's a stargate over the top. So there was in my research, I looked and I found that CERN, I think in 1986, had put particle accelerator into the Hoover Dam, and that could explain why, you know, they have the water there, because to hide maybe some of that technology or the things that they're working on. Maybe they're accessing ancient technology that was within the pyramids there, right? We don't know. But if that's true, on CERN's website, they said that the Hoover Dam holds the key to the fate of the universe. So if it's tied then, and it's supposed to be like the Temple of Alcyon, and they're looking for a cosmic return and a water birth, then there's a plaque that they had on it that said that they died to make the desert bloom. And it looks like everybody's underwater, and that ties into the Lake Havasu. So that's why if you look on the channel, it says the Lake Havasu connection is that Lake Havasu is downstream from the Hoover Dam and the Colorado River. And that's a whole nother story that we can go into in that. And the water birth, again, that they do with the Phoenicians. And through Magna Carta law, the city of Rome has land there in Lake Havasu under the London Bridge. And so these are really interesting revelations we're discovering. I think that that's why we see that the water has been brought down to a very low level, so that whatever happens, if it does need to be taken down for whatever reason, that it won't be as damaging as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bob's adding, portal transfers like a jump room, and stargates warp time for traveling to or from the future. Yeah, they can be. Go ahead, Norma.
Okay, so let's even take it even to an even kind of more of a basicness here. Let's look at the words. Portal. Port. Okay, so when you look at that word, and because it can be referred to many things, when you look at a port, what is a port? It's something that a ship pulls into. What do ships have? Portholes. Portals. So it's like if we look at portals, they're things that you can look through, or, you know, kind of dock at, right? Then when you look at Stargate, you have a star, which is reflective of you when you understand that when you're born, a star is born along with you, because as above, so below, as you're talking about. But gate, what is a gate? A gate is something that somebody puts up for fencing, or to keep someone in or out, or make it challenging to be able to go from one side to the other. So that means, all right, is there a level and degree to the reason why they call them star gates? Is there something that only they can be entered in from one side or from another? Is there something different about the frequency or the vibration as to what stargates represent? So I'm just getting to the basic etymology of things. So I'm working on the words right now. Then I feel that as we go along, because I agree with Adam, this is so much bigger than portholes and stargates, because it comes down to the one singular thing, 0 point. And that's where the compass comes in. And that's where you begin to understand that because we're cosmos and we're able to create, and someone created this realm, somebody created this sun, this light place to come and experience in this vastness of what they call dark matter. So it's like almost like a piercing of a veil, so to speak, when you understand your weights and measurements. So the weight of the compass pierced the veil to be able to create the measurement of a place that it decided to create from. So that's where I come from when I'm looking at information, and I'm piecing together things to understand them at a deeper meaning as to what does that represent within me? Where is the deepest part of me? Where is my 0 point? And what is the circumference? Is however far I can stretch my arms and my legs as a human, but what is the circumference of the toroidal field that surrounds this body, that encases this body, which is the spirit, which is the soul? So you see, I'm not just looking at it from one perspective. I'm trying to see it from the fullness of the perspective of that 360-degree circumference that was created around that center of 0 point. So I have a greater understanding of both directions, as well as within me, as well as out. So I can understand what this experience is, what it's for, and how I can better be a creative being in this and be that change that I seek to see.
Well, just one thing that that makes me think of when I was looking at this, and it talked about the ley lines, and like most churches are on them, and that our highways are on them, and so we're how does this affect us? All of the ley lines have always affected us, where we have a relationship energetically with our earth, and so we're like, our heart is a battery. It's puts the battery out, that motor, right? That battery. And our mind has that thought, and yet we're literally electromagnetic beings. And so what I find interesting is, how will we change with this knowledge for us, right? How do we change that we're not just walking around like mindless zombies, being used? Like, our thoughts are being used. They're being controlled through media. They're being controlled through music. They're being controlled through our thoughts. And so with all this, that's why I think these shows are so important, is because we start thinking differently, and we start putting our heart fields together, and then creating new intention.
Absolutely. And remember, when you have chakras on your hands, and when you clap, you're giving energy, right? You're giving energy. So we're going to give you all some energy today.
Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a little tidbit of portals, and we're going to get a little better about roping FCB in on some decodes because he's so good at it. Or what you could do, Melzie, is create a slideshow with what you've got.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely we can get more organized with the video.
Yeah.
So thanks for sticking with us and through it, because it's, you know, there's a lot there, and we can present it better. So
yeah,
I think it's an interesting topic, though, to talk about. It's not just about the Hoover Dam and what's there and what are they doing, and because it applies to us. We're learning about hidden technologies. We're learning about hidden meaning, and you know, we might be standing on things we never knew. So
absolutely.
it makes me think differently about the area that I'm in, because, you know, there's petroglyphs that are right over, like right on the mountain right up there. You know, I just got to find a way to get there.
You will.
Because it's high. It's higher up.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
Adam saying, yes, that's true. This is true, Adam. I just, this relates to that movie that Jade played for us the other night that you and I sat there and had a different perspective on it. Your spinal column is the North and South Pole. Yes. When we breathe, we're pumping this fluid, gold and silver, up and down the magnetic column, and it creates a charge.
Yay.
Yeah.
Very good, Adam.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And does anybody remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with the little felt characters? That it was, right? And that silver and gold, silver and gold. Yeah, it was pretty fascinating. So when you watch, if you watch any shows this holiday season with the kidlets around in your life, observe them from a new perspective, because you'd be surprised what you might pick up. Yeah, absolutely. Final words, because we got somebody on our heels tonight. So Norma, you want to go first?
Oh yeah, it's always going to pretty much be the same message. Know who you are. The greatest part about this journey is understanding that even though things may seem to be hidden, they're not. Not when you're able to gain the knowledge and the understanding. No, even if it means starting at a basic level, if it's something that is able to provide you with the information that gives you a different perspective about this world and what you're interacting in, if it means that it gives you that chance and opportunity to see something differently than you would have seen it a year ago, and it makes you kind of have that head tilt and you go, I see this a little differently, then that's a beginning, because what you're doing is you're recognizing that is speaking to something within you, which existed first before it ever did. It's one of those that when you come to understand what a God actually is, a God is a creative being. A God is what creates the worlds in which, in the many systems out there that exist that we probably have no clue exist, but they do, because we're not the only ones. So when we look at this and we know that this is a creative process, and we begin to recognize things that were created in the image and likeness of us, everything, every single thing, whether it's from Earth, because we're beings living within a being, period. And when we begin to understand that, and we get into that deeper and deeper knowing of these things by tapping into the DNA, triggering the DNA to get rid of all this, stuff that we've been, taught and, and been, all the stuff that's been manipulated will become unmanipulated, because it'll be a knowing. That's the reason why it's good for you to have that connection with the body and have that body-mind connection. It's so vitally important, because they all three work in unison to become the one, the whole. So keep going. Never stop asking questions, especially of yourself, because you'll be the first one to answer them.
Right? Absolutely. And trust that intuition. So now there's a conversation going on around Santa Claus and the colostrum, and we will get there with that. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No.
That's not what I was. Okay.
No, it wasn't at all. It wasn't at all. I just wanted to comment that is another topic that will come up eventually.
Yeah. No, that was just, yeah.
Melzie?
It's just so much more important stuff than that. You are more important than any of that.
More important than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Melzie?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for being the creator beings that you all are, and just have a great week. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, we gave you we're wondering how you're doing with giving love to your water and waking up and running energy through your body and paying attention to your body and having gratitude before you go to sleep and when you wake up. Start with that gratitude. It will shift your whole perspective on things. Yeah. And no matter what, do you.
And if you forgot to speak to your water, remember you're made of water. So just speak to your water in your body.
Good point. Yes.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We look forward to seeing you next week. We appreciate all your comments and all your feedback. Yes. And we enjoy doing the show for you. So, yeah. And we learn too. We're learning together.
Mm-hmm.